Ryan Stark.
My name is Ted Canada. I'm Nick and Jace's dad.
Barry Biggs.
Pamela Kelly.
Leah West.
James Dwayne Strader, known as JD.
Always wanted to, and I went to college first, but then 9/11 happened, and so I signed up right after 9/11 happened. So that was a big reason.
At the time I joined, there was a draft, and I wanted to volunteer so I could go where I wanted to go, not where they wanted me. So I volunteered.
My main influence in joining the military was my family and its strong history of service to our country. My father was in the Army. My brother Rick was in the Army. My oldest sister Cindy was in the Army, and I had an uncle that was in the Navy.
I come from a small town, not a lot of opportunities. So I was in a little bit of trouble. I needed an escape, so the military provided me that way out.
I always wanted to join. My grandfathers were veterans. My uncle and cousins were in the Air Force, and Dad was a Marine. So I really always had interest in joining one branch or another.
Well, back then, it was a draft. We had no choice. Oh, a lot of people did join, but then they would draft as they needed people to fill up the services. So.
In the Marine Corps.
U.S. Navy.
Illinois Army National Guard.
United States Air Force.
The U.S. Army.
At that time, it was the Army. Yeah.
Probably because I knew those guys are pretty crazy, and I kind of want to be surrounded by those people. So, be in good hands.
Because of my experience that I had on construction, and I really didn't want to be in the infantry.
I grew up in Paris, and there was a transportation company called the 1544th Light to Medium Truck Company, and it had from deuce and a half trucks to 5-ton trucks. And I joined the local unit because of the scholarship benefits, so I can go to college.
Well, it was my dad who kind of pulled me aside. I went and talked to an Army recruiter. I took my ASVAB, which is your battery test to get into the military with the Army. I was gung-ho on joining the Army, and he pulled me aside, and we had an uncle that served in the Air Force, and he thought it would be best if I switched branches and joined the Air Force, so I did.
Honestly, because they were the first ones who called, I probably would have gone in any branch if they had called me first.
Like I said, at that time, the Army was the only time. When my brother went in, Nelson, he got to pick the Marines and or the Army. He took Marines.
Probably 23, guessing 23, 24, something like that when I joined.
20 years old.
17. Just out of high school, I turned 17 in June, and I joined in October of 1985.
19 years old.
17.
I was 19.
I was a sergeant.
I was an E5.
Okay, my rank was Specialist E4 when I left, and that rank is one rank below sergeant right before you go to your sergeant boards.
I retired a Master Sergeant E7.
Staff Sergeant.
I ended up being a sergeant.
That means that I could be in charge of anything from a squad level to, we're from 10 to 15 guys to you could be in charge of an entire platoon, which has happened. You might be in charge of 40 guys at a time, so it can be a big responsibility. So,
Which meant I was a second-class petty officer.
I was a manager. Instead of using my hands at this point, I was watching other people use their hands, making sure they had the tools to do the job, they know what the job was, and that they were doing it in a timely and safe manner.
I was a combat engineer. So it's one of the most diverse jobs. You go anywhere from building stuff to explosives, landmines, fortifications, a lot of different aspects in it.
Heavy construction work.
I was what they call your military occupational specialty, or MOS, was 94 Bravo, which means food service specialist. So I was a cook in that Illinois National Guard unit in Paris. I cooked for approximately 130 soldiers on a team of 5 other cooks and then a mess sergeant.
Cryogenics and fuels.
Chemical operations and biological air detections. We would take in air samples and just detect for biological threats.
It was auto mechanic.
6 years.
4 years active and 2 years inactive reserves.
When I left the National Guard, I served 8 years, from 1985 to 1994.
I served for almost 21 years.
14 years.
So 2 years, yes.
Once in Iraq, that was in 2004, 2005. And then I was on convoys most of the time, so Al Qaim, Haditha Haseba, HIT, TQ. There was a bunch of places. There was just convoy routes we were all over. So
I was deployed 2 times overseas. The first time was to the Indian Ocean. The second time was to the Philippines. And my third deployment was I was deployed stateside to Gulfport, Mississippi.
I was deployed during Desert Shield and Desert Storm from September 1990 to May of 1991. I was also on a detail sent to help during the flood of 1993 in East St. Louis, Redbud, and Valmeyer area. I met Senator Paul Simon while on duty in Valmeyer, Illinois.
It's hard to quantify all the deployments because I was a flyer for my first 10 years. But some of the most notable ones, Tonopah, Nevada, which you folks probably know as Area 51. I was there a couple times. I've been to Bogota, Colombia in South America, all over the Middle East, Qatar, Bahrain, Jordan, Cairo, Egypt, Baghdad, Iraq.
I wasn't deployed, but I mobilized 3 separate times, but no boots on ground in any other country.
Hinesboro and Kemp deployed through Chicago, deployed through Seattle, then Japan, then Korea.
positive experience. Well, there's lots of positive experiences. I mean, being Marines, the one good thing about the Marines, you're usually near the water somewhere, so we were always on the beach. So we did a lot of swimming and running down on our free time. Met a lot of good guys. Some are friends for life. Opened a lot of job opportunities, that's for sure. So I could probably go on and on.
I had a lot of good experiences traveling around the world that was paid for by the government.
A few I could share would be riding a camel in Saudi Arabia and being the only female in my unit to properly execute the use of an M60 machine gun that was on a tripod, where you would be on your low crawl position. I was the only female that was able to properly execute how to get it started.
I think all my memories are pretty positive for the most part. There's not really one in particular that stands out.
I think the biggest one is no matter what, I guess never quit on anything. I mean, even when things are looking bad, you got to keep pushing forward. So probably that one.
To be respecter of authority and to live with as much integrity as I can.
Duty, honor, country, service to all, and my involvement in various philanthropic and community involvement activities. It taught me respect my fellow man and to serve my fellow man and or woman.
It taught me a lot about myself, mentally and physically challenged me, taught me integrity, hard work, sacrifice.
Respect, honor,
Um, well, you have a lot of guys you served with are usually pretty successful in life. So you have those acquaintances. If you're looking to get a job, they already know your character, I guess. I have a lot of hunting buddies that we're in the military with. So we travel around the country, different places. It's a pretty diverse opening when you know all these people, different aspects of life. So.
I had a commanding officer that was real close. He treated me like a son, and we went and seen him after I got out and he retired, and that memories lasted to this day. We still have close ties with him.
So many special friendships remain after my service that they have become like family members. When you serve overseas, you tend to band together and look out for each other, and those friendships remain to this day. But one particular example of a friendship that happened after I came home from Desert Storm was with our commander. He retired at the rank of colonel, but at the time he was Captain Michael Selby. He was our commander after we came home from Desert Storm in 1991. And recently this summer, I worked at a summer camp for special needs children, and we were studying things around the world, and we happened to come upon the country Japan, and this commander was Japanese, and he and his 88-year-old mother, Machiko Selby, both were on a Zoom meeting to talk to the children at this camp about being from Japan and various things about Japanese culture. And that friendship remains to this day after 30-some years of having served together.
Long-lasting friendships from folks who are lifers like me, all the way to guys I served with just for 4 years. A lot of those friendships I still have today. I met my wife while I was serving in the military.
Because of agency cross training and events with fire departments, hospitals, and police, as well as outreach in the community through VFWs and American Legions in the areas near my company and battalion, there were quite a few different contacts that I had made with people who could probably offer different civilian career opportunities, as well as instructors who were brought in for several different training and training classes in schools that I had to go to.
Point of view. I don't know. Did it change it? No, I think it just broadened some ideas that I had about the world, and then you actually get out there and like, oh, okay, this is a little bit different than what was in the book, I guess. And so, how good we actually have it here, and how bad other places actually have it, and how lucky we are to be here, I guess. So.
Yes, to have respect and to have as much respect for authority, that is, respect for our military, other branches of our military.
Some things that it more or less reinforced my strong beliefs in service to my country and helped me appreciate the freedoms and the privileges we take for granted here in the United States.
I think serving in third world countries like Korea for a year showed me a lot about how good we have it here.
I don't think it did. I think the views I had before I joined are still the same they are today.
free religion. Some people don't get the free religion. I'm honored that this school and a lot of other schools are honoring the veterans, teaching them from first and second grade and on up. What they have, 90% of the world does not have freedom. We think, yeah, not too much freedom here, but freedom here just 900 times % better than the places that I was at.
that it's not easy, and it takes a lot. It takes a lot of determination on their part to be part of it.
How much growth and potential you have, and I strongly recommend to any student the importance of service to your country.
I think that you're going to learn a skill, and hopefully that skill you could use it even in the civilian sector. Also about the benefits, there's a lot of great benefits joining the military. You get free medical, dental, vision, post 9/11 GI Bill.
I think that it's a very serious life decision. I believe there's honor and respect for anyone who decides to sign their name, but not everyone joins for their country or glory and sacrifice. Many service members join because they don't feel they have many other options in their life. I feel many serve to help pay for college. Those reasons are fine, but a lot of people join for several different reasons. Each person's life experiences in and out of the military will be different.
All students ought to pick up a paper or listen to the news and see what the men and the women are going through and what they gave.
Check out everything, and if you're going to sign up for something, make sure that you know the legal aspects in a written contract through the recruiters.
Do your due diligence, do your homework. Go visit a recruiter more than once. Don't sign up on the first visit. Find out what jobs are available, what jobs are critical. Start making a list, first choice, second choice, third choice. Kind of be open-minded. And if that job doesn't open up in 3, 6, 9, 12 months, wait that time out. Because this is going to be your job. This is what you're going to do, whether you're in for 4 years or if you're in for 20 years.
Definitely research each branch and the jobs that the recruiter is offering to you. Speak to people who have done those jobs that your recruiter is discussing with you. Consider selecting something that will offer you training and certification for a civilian career after your time in the service is finished. Don't settle on a contract that is presented to you if it doesn't have everything that you were promised. Read your contract before signing, because your parents won't be with you. You will be responsible for knowing and understanding what is written in that contract.
It's a time where, if you reflect back on it, it actually was called Armistice Day, which was the end of World War I. It means that I can think back on everyone that served, whether they're living or not, served this country to get us the freedoms that we have today.
I looked up a favorite poem of mine about Veterans Day. A veteran, whether active duty, discharged, retired, or reserve, is someone who, at one point in his or her life, wrote a blank check made payable to the United States of America for an amount of up to and including his or her life. That is an honor, and there are way too many people in this country today who no longer understand that fact. I am a proud veteran and proud of all those I have served with. And the end of the poem says, Happy Veterans Day to all who have served, past and present.
You need to think of the men and the women that served as friends and honor them for what they did.
I think it's a nice way to honor people who volunteered to make sacrifices in their lives in order to do what their country asked them to do. Some people have spent months and even years away from their spouses, their children, and their friends. So it's just one day, but it's a nice way to provide thanks to veterans and their families.
I think there's an old saying out, a lot served and gave their time, and a lot gave it all.